Hello everyone, Amanda here, and today we are talking about the Apothecary Diaries episodes 1 through 5 of season 1, and it was created by Natsu Hyuga. So for my comfort level, I had to look up how old Maomao was, and I believe it said she's 17, so I'm like, okay, that works for me. That's cool. I was looking because, she looks so young and the setting is concubines and that type of era, and I was just nervous. I was like, how old is this girl? I see that Master Jinshi or whatever, he's supposed to be like maybe a possible love interest, and I'm like, how old is he? And he's apparently just like a year older, so I'm like, okay, 17, 18, maybe let's give him some time. So I'm like, okay, I'm comfortable watching this now. And I'm low-key crazy because I watched it twice. I watched the first 5 episodes with subtitles, so it was still in Japanese, and then I watched it the first 5 episodes again with the English dub. And with the original Japanese, it's Maomao, but then with the English dub, I heard them say Momo, like, Avatar The Last Airbender's Momo, and I was like, I would have noticed if the Japanese version said Momo, but they said Maomao. So I'm going to call her Maomao unless somebody gets irritated enough to correct me. So if you haven't watched the first 5 episodes of Apothecary Diaries, then you will receive some spoilers if you continue listening. So just a warning, don't get mad at me. So just starting off, I have to say the Maomao, and I think his name is Jinshi, Master Jinshi, the guy with the long hair who I think is supposed to be her love interest. They are giving me Haruhi and Tamaki vibes from Ouran High School Host Club, if you've ever seen that. I love Ouran High School Host Club, and yeah, that's what they remind me of. I love characters like Jinshi, where they're like princely vibes, like flamboyant. They're like deducive too, like they know to pay attention, they're smart, but their general vibe and personality is just like goofy, flamboyant, like I'm a prince, I'm everything. So I thought Jinshi was the emperor. I thought like he was pretending, like I thought the emperor that they all knew and saw was like a fake emperor, and then Jinshi is like the real emperor behind the scenes. And I don't think that anymore, because we saw the real emperor when he asked for Maomao's help with his other concubine, the one who was like dancing, and we'll get to her. But when I saw him, I was like, okay, so maybe Jinshi is not like a hidden emperor. But I'm also like, I don't think he's a eunuch either, like Maomao thinks. So I wonder, like they said, only guys are allowed who are eunuchs and kin to the king. So I think he must be some kind of relative, or not king, sorry, emperor. So he must be some kind of relative to the emperor. So yeah, I do right now, as of episode 5, I don't think Jinshi is a eunuch, and I think he's related to the emperor. But he also, I don't really know her. I only saw her in this last episode 5. One of the concubines, her and Jinshi look alike. She is the one with like the long purpley hair. So she might be like, he might be related to a concubine, like the special of the 4, which I really don't like the concubine stuff, but that is the world we are in for this show. So I'm just going to accept that. So since I watched these 5 episodes twice, I have some ideas on stuff. So for example, Maomao, right? She has that burn on her arm, and as of right now, Jinshi and I forgot his guy, his like assistant guy. I forgot his name, but that guy who is like telling Maomao, please stop being mean to Jinshi. He loves it. Please stop glaring at him. He loves it, and I have to hear about it. That guy, they're looking for people who have burns on their arm because of the fireworks situation, and I think it's because they know that whoever planted those fireworks, or like not fireworks, but the explosion that caused the fire on that soldier's hand, they know that whoever did it probably has burns to show that they are the culprit. So I'm afraid that there's going to be one of those misunderstanding tropes where someone finds out that Maomao has a burn and they like blame it on her. But since I watched this set of episode twice, I have some clues for us, and I will be reading off some notes. If you're listening on the podcast, this is also a YouTube video, so it's AmandaSushii with 2 eyes. And yeah, so if you want to see me read notes on my floor, you can always check out the YouTube. But anyway, So episode 1, we learn that Maomao, she experiments on herself. So at first, that's where I thought those burns came from. But then the granny who's in charge of the brothel, she was like, if I catch you playing with those combustibles near the good mahogany again, blah, blah, blah. Like, so it looks like Maomao was not, I don't know if she was experimenting or if she was just messing with fireworks. And the thing is, the granny said playing, and I don't see Maomao's character as like the playing type. Like, she's a little bit more, for the most part, serious, but she does have her cutesy moments when she's finding ingredients or something. So I don't know if she was rummaging through the combustibles, or did she meet someone who's weird, who's on a bad side, and then she got in trouble and something exploded and it affected her arm, and that's why she has those burns. And then so I'm jumping around, but then you know how we find out that her freckles are fake? Then I'm like, what if her burn is fake, as a way for like no one to touch her, like almost maiming herself to avoid any dangerous situations, which didn't work because she still ended up being kidnapped. Which, by the way, can we talk about how Momo reacted to being kidnapped? It was just like, welp, figured this would happen one day or another. She was very like blasé in her little basket and not freaking out, not crying like I think, you know, you would expect most people to be, especially like a young girl. But she was, I guess it's just like she, you know, has already had such a hard life because she lives, you know, she works at the brothel, she's seen a lot of girls. And I don't know anything about her mom, but here is my theory. And I'm thinking that this is based on the Lady Liwa episode, the woman who was really sick, the one who lost her baby in the first episode, and then Maomao had to go take care of her under the emperor's orders, basically, and she fed her to health. I think from that episode where she basically dragged that girl to the makeup counter and poured the like toxic powder on her and was like, you know, like totally like 180 in her character. Based on that, I think that maybe Maomao's mom may have been in the brothel and she died because of something that could have been avoided for cosmetics. So far, like, this show has a lot of serious undertone themes, though it's like very cutesy. I do see the theme of like vanity is such a huge problem because people are literally killing themselves. Why are babies getting powder put on them to get them lighter? Like that type of stuff. So I see the theme of vanity through this show. And based on Maomao's reaction, I mean, it could also be like she just, you know, she's friends with these girls in the brothel, or she cares about them, and, you know, a lot of them are close. I'm thinking that's the closest thing right now I can think of, that her mom was working in the brothel and something cosmetic, like they used some kind of cream or something, and she died that way, and that's why she's so like angry in that scene with that girl. And that scene, before that scene, I would have described Maomao as like an analytical person, like stoic, like nonchalant in general. Like I said, we do see her get like very excited when it comes to ingredients and stuff. But when she dragged that girl, I was like, girl, you giving Sakura right now. What's going on? And speaking of Sakura, Lady Guoko, I think, the one with the pink hair who's in the jade side, who Maomao interacts with the most, that concubine with the baby. She so looks like Sakura with her pink hair and emerald eyes. The OG blueprint Miss Sakura Haruno. Anyway, wrong anime. But anyway, I would have described Maomao as like, you know, practical, observant, good at quick thinking and analyzing a situation. But now I'm like, whoa, this personality is completely different. Like, she's giving, I don't know, what's the word, like very strict ruler or something. Like how dumb are you to have used this powder that you know is banned? Like, but very angry, very I don't know, when she pulled that girl, I was like, I did not expect that one a bit. And Jinshi was like, yes, how fast women change. I was like, period. I cannot lie about that. That's crazy. But it's almost like in that moment she didn't realize what she was doing, because when he said that, she pulled herself out of it and was like, oh, maybe I went overboard, I don't know. And she went back to like that kind of nonchalant, cutesy self. So there is a side to Maomao we just only got a little glimpse of, and she might be actually low-key terrifying. Jinshi is also obviously very observant, and I really like that first kind of plan where he tries to weed out Maomao to, know it was her, that she was the one who wrote the note with the flower to warn Lady Gyoko about her baby. Because he was like, okay, first of all, she can read. So he wrote that note, like the one with the freckles stay. And then he knew that the strip that she wrote the words on was from her maiden skirt or whatever. So yeah, very, very smart, observant character and very calculating. I do remember a line. He said something like, "Oh, we have a pawn," or something like that. So there are some other undertones to the show that, I have to keep watching to see, but I do love a little, little political anime show. Along with that, there is a scene with Lady Gyoko and one of her handmaidens or ladies in waiting, and they're walking away, and the scene kind of darkens a little bit, and she's like, "It's good to know that she knows how to make drugs." And I'm like, what does that mean? Who are you trying to poison here, lady? So yeah, I think our little Maomao is going to be a pawn in, I don't know, the concubine. Maybe that's how she's going to start, like the concubine war. Not war, but like, I guess they kind of see who's favorites. But honestly, like, there's not really bad vibes. I also was really appreciative. Like, I hate when shows like your main character just gets abused, especially like in her where she's living and stuff. So I was happy that all the ladies in waiting that Lady Gyoko has, like, they're super nice to her and they dote on her and like make sure she's fed. And I think they think that she was abused as a child because of her burn, but nope. And also Lady Liwa's, I'm sorry if I'm saying that wrong, but also her handmaidens, ladies in waiting, they probably like Maomao too, or don't have any bad feelings towards her because she brought their lady back to life. So actually, that's 2 out of 4 of the top 4 concubines that may, like, that view her in a good light. So maybe she won't be used as like a pawn in their drama, but maybe she'll be used as like to poison someone or create like a poison. Like, let's think, if you've watched Game of Thrones, Red Wedding. Can Maomao, would she do something like that? I don't know. Actually, now that I'm thinking about it, we don't know a lot about Maomao or her background besides like the brothel, and she like saw a lot of things as a child. And also maybe that's what makes her kind of like a blasé personality, because she's seen so much horrible stuff that she's just so nonchalant from her experiences. You know what I'm trying to say? And that reminds me, along with like the politics and the emperor, the fact that Jinshi was sent by the emperor to test the concubine's loyalty to him, because Jinshi's like this super attractive guy, and all the ladies are like fawning over him, but that one I don't know, rando concubine asked him in passing, like, would you like to spend the night with me? And he was like, nope. And we learned from his assistant guy that was a test by the emperor to test their loyalty, and that is so manipulative. Like, let's send this attractive man and see who wants to sleep with him, and that, what happens after that? I don't know if they did anything to her, but he probably reported that she was not loyal to the emperor himself, The episode with the lady who was like fake sleepwalking, that one like really put the theme of like the freedom and safety, especially in like, based around the concubines and all this type of stuff, where she didn't really have a choice. And so her best option was to try and pretend that she can't dance. So she fell in front of the emperor so he wouldn't like her. And then she needed her price reduced, so she acted crazy and started sleepwalking and scaring people, so that way her man could afford her, buy her, and have a happy ending. That is so genius, but sad, but genius, but extremely sad. But honestly, I'm happy that that person found her happy ending. And when Maomao and Lady Gyoko were kind of talking about it, they were like, oh, so she like fell on purpose in front of the emperor so he wouldn't have her, which I was like, whoa, so that way she would remain like pure for the guy. And I'm watching it from a different point of view, and I'm like, dang. So even though that guy loved her, if the emperor like, had her, whatever, then he would not pay for her. But I guess we don't know that for sure, but still, or maybe she wouldn't be able to be sold. Ugh, I hate talking about it like that, but maybe she wouldn't be able to be sold because like she wouldn't be pure, I guess. I don't know. But I just thought it was just a sad conversation, but also that she, like, her plan went through. And I wonder, like, I guess Maomao didn't want to tell everyone. I remember earlier in the episode she was sharing that story about the woman she knew in the brothel who pretended to sleepwalk like she suggested the lady was, but the person in the brothel was doing it because she did not want to marry some like older guy. And then she saved what she actually thought towards the end with Lady Gyoko. I wonder if, like, so that way they don't, like, ruin her plan. Like, Lady Gyoko probably wouldn't care much, but maybe the other two guys, like, she doesn't know Jinshi that well. Like, maybe she was like, if I tell him that this woman's faking it to end up with a happy ending and they're playing the Emperor by reducing her price when she's faking it, maybe they would have thought, like, maybe she was afraid that they would, like, kind of foil the plan. I don't know. But, yeah, I just thought, like, that general episode was so sad. Also, so this is at the end of episode 5. Jinshi, he realizes, like, her freckles are fake, and she explains it's, like, to look uglier, which actually, like, in real life, please, like, freckles are so freaking cute. But in this show, I understand, like, like that typical, like, pure white skin. That's why they use the cosmetic powder, and freckles showing that you work outside or whatever is not pretty in this world. Or in the world of this anime. So anyway, Jinshi, he learns all about that. Jinshi is, like, expressing his empathy and, like, his sorrow, and, like, telling her sorry that that happened to her, that she got kidnapped and forced here. And he just, like, I don't know, I just kind of saw it, but I'm also like, it's a little hypocritical, unless, I don't know, we don't know, at this point, we don't know anything about him besides that he's Master Jinshi and he's high up and people follow what he says. So at this point, I don't know, I just feel like that was a little bit hypocritical, because it's like, well, the system benefits you, and this girl and all these other, like, young servant girls, they all just got kidnapped from their families and their villages to serve you guys. So it's pretty hypocritical. But unless, now I don't know his backstory, maybe he was kidnapped too and he feels bad about that, or maybe he, like I said, is kin to the Emperor, and maybe, like, he'll switch it up a little bit, maybe he'll be like, oh no, I was gonna say he could end the system of that, but that, I don't think that's going to happen, because that's, like, integral to this, like, society in the show. But maybe he'll be like, no longer will we accept stolen children, servants. We can only accept the families who want to sell them off, which is, equally as awful, but maybe it's for a better life. I don't know. I'm trying to, like, justify, but yeah, I just felt like it was a little bit hypocritical, but I don't know his background. I just know he felt bad, but also, like, right now it looks like he's benefiting from the system because, he works for the Emperor. But so far I'm intrigued by it. I won't say I love it. I do love, like, how the animation looks. I do like Maomao when she looks like a little cat. She's so cute. And I love interactions between her and Jinshi, just because she, like, doesn't like him. It's, like, very done. It's been done. Like I said, Tamaki and Haruhi, and I eat that ish up. I love that. It's, like, not enemies to lovers. It's, like, low-key I hate you to lovers, but, I'll take what I can get. Let me know what you guys thought. This is actually my first episode ever, so I would appreciate if you could give a girl a 5-star rating. That would be awesome. Or if you're watching on YouTube, please subscribe to me. Or, you could do both, switcheroo. I would greatly, greatly appreciate that. So stay tuned for the next episode. Thanks you guys so much for watching or listening. I appreciate you. And, follow me on socials at AmandaSushii. That's with 2 eyes. Thank you. Goodbye. Enjoy, watch all the anime and reality TV that you can. Okay,